But can you tell us first a little bit about your book?
Yeah, so Jacob Wonderbar and the Cosmic Space Compel. It's about 3 kids who blast off into space, break the universe, and have to find their way back home. And it's coming out in 3 weeks with Dial at Penguin. And yeah, so I never really thought of myself as a writer, but for a long time when I was working in publishing, I'm not one of those people who was working in publishing because I secretly wanted to be a writer. I actually wanted to be in publishing, and then I wrote one novel in my mid-20s that didn't work out, and then I had the idea for this one, and I wrote it in about 6 months, and there's going to be 3 so far, 3 and maybe hopefully more, we'll see, and they're going to come out about 9 months apart. The second one's Jacob Wonderbar for President of the Universe, and the third one is Jacob Wonderbar, well, tentatively titled Jacob Wonderbar and the Interstellar Time Warp. So.
Did you sell them as a package?
It was a 2-book deal, and then I just got a 3rd.
Gotcha. So how'd you get interested in writing middle grade novels?
It was more driven by the idea of that I had. I sort of had an idea for a kid who was trapped on a planet of substitute teachers, and for that, it's sort of a middle grade idea. So I just sort of went with that. That's kind of where that's the germ of the idea and everything else.
Who are your literary inspirations?
Really like Roald Dahl.
It reminds me very much of Roald
Dahl. And of course Douglas Adams. It's a lot of people describe it as Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy for kids, which I'm flattered by. It's like those are the 2. Oh, and Calvin and Hobbes comics.
So your book is coming out in the normal publishing venues.
Yeah.
But are you an advocate of sort of then looking into the new ways that things are going? And could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, I am. I think that the great thing about the new era is that people have choice. I'm not like an advocate. I wouldn't consider myself an advocate for traditional publishing or an advocate for self-publishing, except in as much as that it's great that each individual author now has a choice about which route they want to pursue, and I think it's great that like Barry Eisler is going from self-publishing and Amanda Hockey is going from self-publishing to traditional publishing, and it's because Barry's excited about this new era and thinks he can make more money by doing it that way. And Amanda Hocking wants to focus on her writing and wants to have a lot of the tasks that she has been handling as a self-published author handled by a traditional publisher. So I think that the future is really bright for authors. I think it's a very challenging time for agents and publishers and everyone who's dependent upon the traditional publishing industry. But I think everyone will be fine and everyone's going to survive, and it'll just shake out with a spectrum of choice.
Did someone already ask you, Nathan, about who's your agent? Did you want to go with the agency you worked with for 10 years over? You already did that?
No.
Or you felt you really couldn't go with the agency you've been at for so long?
Yeah, so I did send out queries, and I wanted to keep things separate, which I think a lot of people who do in the publishing industry when they're working at an agency, they often will be represented by someone else just to sort of keep things separate, and so I saw a lot of value in that. There are really great agents at Curtis Brown, and I would love to have had them as my agent. But I just thought that it could get messy if things were mixed with like personal and business, and so my agent is Catherine Drayton at Inkwell, and I've been thrilled working with her. It's been great.
I want to take back to ebooks for a second. I'm not sure if this is relevant for your books, but for those of us who are, under contract and working on a new book, I mean, mine is a nonfiction book. It's a book about language, it's not narrative. I just wonder what you think we should be thinking about in terms of ebooks. I'm not thinking about a lot. In a way, I'm thinking about what's going to go on the web. What of what I'm developing is going to go on the web and have some sort of deep content on the web. But I just wonder, what your thoughts are. Obviously, I'll talk to my publisher about it, but as you're working on a book, how should we be thinking about enhancing a book? Or
well, I think it really depends. I mean, right now the the market for an enhanced ebook is growing, and there are new ventures that are sort of looking into that. But right now, I think publishers, as far as I know, as of a few months ago, publishers are really primarily thinking of ebooks as ebooks and just as
It's just a
text
different
form.
method of delivery.
Yeah. Whereas there's like, now there's talk of multimedia editions and books and all the rest, and how those things, how they can either add to the value of the ebook or how they can be a separate product. And whether they are considered a separate product, and whether they, how much of the text they involve, I mean, these are all rights discussions to have with your agent, just to figure out who owns what, who needs what permission for what, and it's it's all new and complicated, and it's something I was working a lot on in the last months when I was an agent. But in terms of things to think about, I don't know that. I would think it's exciting to think about how you could add value to the book, and by utilizing whatever media is available in electronic form. So if there are videos that you wanted to add to it, or hyperlinks or things like that, you can sort of envision an enhanced multimedia edition, and then from there it just becomes a matter of figuring out who would be the best person to produce that, whether it's the publisher or a third party, and how to work out the rights depending on your agreement.
So how are you planning to use social media to promote yourself as a writer?
I'm going to be doing some campaigns around the time the book comes out, but I also just my goal is to not overdo it either. I think social media I really think of as building a connection between yourself and your readers and your followers, and I think that they're not going to buy it just because I'm doing a blog giveaway that day. They're going to buy it because they've been reading my blog and they sort of know what it's about and they've heard about it. So I'll try and get the word out to sort of to reach people who maybe haven't heard about my blog or the book before. But at the end of the day, it's also just about giving it that boost, and from there it's going to do what it does. People are going to either recommend it to more people or they're not, and if at certain points it becomes out of your hands. Details just yet.
Why did you leave Bruce Brown?
I left because I'm really excited about social media, and I'm really I started my blog as an extension of being an agent, and it was something I really did in my spare time, really to help build my career and to help differentiate myself. And it's something I really just enjoy a lot. I think it's in a really exciting new world. I mean, this job that I have right now didn't exist 2 years ago, and now we're working for a company that I really like a lot, trying to sort of bring what I learned building my own presence to sort of bringing cohesiveness to the social media presence for a large company, and it's I was really excited about it. I was ready for a new sort of opportunity.
I want to drill down on that a little bit, because so you really love social media.
Mm-hmm.
I want to know what you love about it, number one. And number two, there is this sort of weird phenomenon where a lot of social media is going from being kind of amateur to professional. It's getting professionalized. So there's you at CNET running their social media presence. I'm going to be on a panel in 10 days in New York with the guy at the Wall Street Journal who runs their social media presence. So is there like a bifurcation going on in social media where there are people that are doing it professionally and getting paid by big companies to run the social media, and then there are those of us who are like writers, trying to keep up a social media presence as a side, to support and complement our.
Yeah, well, I think it's the space is kind of maturing. So it's sort of you can, if you picture it as sort of planets sort of forming, and sort of people that acquire some center of gravity and mass to it, and so the social media or the blogs that are popular get more popular, and the ones who aren't popular die off. It's sort of I think it's the next stage in the evolution. But I mean, what I really like about it is just building connections with people. And I think that what I always tell people is that social media is social. It's about building a connection with people, and so it is becoming more professional. I'm a professional working at CNET, but my job is to make people feel a personal connection with CNET. And that's, I'm appearing in people's news feeds every day, and sort of bringing a voice and a personality to a company to make it feel less like a company and more like someone you're friends with and someone that you interact with on a daily basis. And I think it's really exciting to sort of, it's short form writing, it's short form comedy, it's short form, like, I enjoy the creative element of it. But I also just enjoy the social part of it. I've met a lot of great people through my blog that are now my friends, and I'm not, I'm not sort of like, it's not me in front of the screen. I mean, it's part and parcel of real life.